One big move has been on currency as well. The best performing currency right now is the Indian rupee, trading at 16-month high. To assess the impact on one big sector, which is the IT sector, we have Vineet Nair now joining us, Vice Chairman of Tech Mahindra. Mr. Nair, good morning. So we all know about the sensitivity of the rupee, but I just wanted to hear from you. What kind of impact are you pricing in right now with the way we have seen this huge move in the currency, which has been unexpected?
Yes, it has been unexpected, and I hope it is temporary because sometimes enthusiasm gets ahead of economic realities. Yes, it's a cause of concern. I would be wrong if I did not state that. But does it keep me awake at night? No, because I think Indian IT industry is resilient enough to manage this as it has managed other storms. So you could see a quarter of up and down, but in the long term, and that's what we work at, I'm quite sanguine.
Well, morning, Mr. Nair. The more medium-term problem, perhaps, is the US visa issue and the fact that the priority visa processing has now been suspended. How does that impact your company itself?
Well, it will, as I said, be a bit of an irritant, but then, I mean, the great advantage of IT is that we are location neutral. I mean, whether I'm working out of Hyderabad or Dallas or anywhere else, it really doesn't matter. So what you may see is that in case the visas, there's a hiccup at the visas, the more and more work moving offshore and are going ahead with local employment. I mean, cost may rise marginally, but is the work going to stop? I don't think so.
Mr. Nair, good morning. Just coming back to the rupee appreciation, some sensitivity analysis suggests that there could be a near-term impact of around 30 to 40 basis points on the margins of some of the larger IT companies like yourselves. Is that a reasonable estimate, or do you think that it could be, the impact could be a bit more minimal?
If I may make an honest confession, I really don't compute these things, or I don't bother myself. I look at the trends. And if there is a minor oscillation in the next few months, it really doesn't worry me. What worries me are the fundamentals of the industry and how we are preparing to meet that. And that's what we are focused on.
Okay, that point is taken.
You folks are much better at that. You folks are much better at that. I leave it to you.
Okay, we have the reports, of course. Mr. Nair, of course, the rupee is tailwind or headwind at best. But what about the business momentum? Because, post Trump taking over, have you seen any kind of impact? IT industry was already struggling last year in terms of deals, pricing, but have things got any worse, or do you think things are looking up actually?
Let me tell you a fundamental of business. It's always a struggle. Look, I haven't seen so far any impact. US is a large, we have a large number of customers there. It's a very important part of our portfolio. But I haven't seen really any of this cascading down to the industry. Industry is going on as usual.
Mr. Nair, it is now the season of buybacks. I mean, first we heard it from TCS, then Cognizant, and today from HCL Tech as well. You are sitting on about 5,000 crores of cash. At any point, would Tech Mahindra also be interested to do a buyback?
This is a very sensitive information. So if you'll pardon me, I can't comment on it. At this point of time, all I can say is that, like every other factor, we look at it and a decision is yet to be made.
So any idea on what you would be looking to do with the cash? Because you have been making a lot of acquisitions in the past. Any more on the anvil?
Yeah. Look, acquisitions is part of a policy for growth. And if we see anything relevant, we'll go ahead with it. As you know, we have the cash. But as of now, we don't have anything in mind.
Okay. Well, now for the big elephant, digital business or SMAC, what's your own strategy, sir? What kind of investments in artificial intelligence or digitization is your company making to tackle this in a medium-term basis? What are your plans over the next 2-3 years?
No. We are very much in it. We are working in this area. We have started working with our multiple clients on this, and I think we are going to be heading towards 15 to 20% of business out of this here. Look, this is a real issue. I don't see visas or Trump as a real issue. I see this as a real issue, the cataclysmic change which is happening in the industry, and whether Indian industry can move with it. And whatever little I have seen, I think we have made very good progress, and we don't think this industry is going to become obsolescent just because the technology has changed or made a huge jump in the last few years.
Okay. Final question from my end. Since you have a lot of European presence as well, we are now in the last lap of the actual Brexit process. How have things been in Europe and the likely impact from here on?
Frankly, we haven't. I mean, there are always issues, but I haven't seen anything directly emerging out of Brexit. There are currency movements, there are issues, or multiple other issues, but Brexit as such has not really impacted us.
Okay, Mr. Nair, I have two questions. One, the near term. There are two headwinds which, as you rightly say, are transient and minor. The visa cost as well as the currency impact. How much might it shave off in terms of margins over the next couple of quarters? And the bigger investment that you are making in digitization, what might it mean in terms of revenues and margins over the next couple of years? Should we get used to lower than your historical average?
Insofar as the margins are concerned, obviously there's a lot of effort which is going to go into getting onto the new platforms which are emerging. But I would say we are well on our way to do that. We are at the moment, as much as 20% of our business is possibly from these new areas. I think the margins are decent. The only implication, I think, in long term is going to be in the intensity of manpower rather than in terms of profitability.
You mean you will use less
ways,
of manpower? You will use more sophisticated manpower? Will the cost go up?
No. I mean, the intensity is, whether it's AI or it's any of the other new technologies, that human beings, the use of human beings is going to reduce. That's on one side. On the other side is the fact is, it's going to become so universal and it needs going to go so much that may neutralize it. But what will come out in the wash, we don't know. But one thing is clear, that the requirement of literally guys on the desk is going to come down as we go forward. But then they say that almost every aspect of the global economy will be through these through AI and stuff like that. And in the end, what comes out in the wash, as I say, is still not quite clear.
And those are prophetic words, sir. Thank you very much for joining us with your thoughts and your outlook